Um, and the Minnesota Timberwolves didn't fall for it that game. They won. And then here it is. They had another game, and Draymond comes out, and this craziness happens. So there's like 3 games in a row. Cleveland, now Minnesota twice. Right. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about that. We got a bunch of other things to talk about as well. But before we even get started, man, make sure you are subscribed to us on YouTube. Make sure you are watching us every time we go live. So if you want to do that, hit that notification bell. That way, every time I go live or post a video, you'll get notified. Do that. And if you're watching us from Facebook, head over to YouTube. We prefer you watch over there, and make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and do the same. Hit the notification bell, and definitely hit that thumbs up on your way in. Leave a comment on your way out. All right. So I'm not going to show the video again. I wanted to react to it last night, but I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to relax, man, because there was a lot of people. I had a couple of friends that I had been talking back and forth to about it. And, you know, we on one end of the spectrum, on either end of the spectrum. And, you know, then I heard some commentators, and I heard some podcasters that cover the Warriors. I heard some radio personalities that cover the Warriors. Fans, like, these are diehard Warriors fans. And to be honest with you, there are a lot of people that have been honest within the Warriors tribe. You know, people that have been covering the Warriors for years, on YouTube, on radio, on Sirius XM, whatever. I've been listening to all of them. They're tired of the Draymond Green's BS. They was tired of it last year with the pool situation, right? They're not sugarcoating it, right? It's a lot of people not sugarcoating it. That I mean, that's not even shocking or surprising. Like, you know, a lot of people are tired. I think Steve Kerr is tired of it, but he can't say that publicly, right? He can't come out and not support Draymond Green, so he's out there doing a lot of capping. But then when you start to listen to other people, you start seeing that people really, their opinion really is tied to their loyalties, or not so much the actual incident, but the people involved in the incident. You know, so you got some people that are they might not be really Draymond guys, but they don't like people who don't like Draymond. And it's people that's on this end of the spectrum who don't like Draymond, who every time he does something, they raise the red flag, like, see, I told you. And that, you know, every action has a natural reaction. And the reaction to people that's raising the red flag on Draymond and trying to point out everything he's doing is you get a crowd of people who's always trying to protect Draymond because they don't want to see him get ganged up on. There's so many people that are calling foul on some of his actions and his activities and his behavior that it draws enough people on the other end of the spectrum that want to shield him. So without really them looking at the incident and seeing it for what it is objectively, because they think this crowd of people is not being objective, and they're doing it based on a dislike or a hate for Draymond, they're going to be the people that step in to shield him from that hate, right? And so that's what you get a lot from a lot of fans, that, you know, and that's why they have defended him with every single thing he did. And we can just talk about the last 3 years. They defended him for stomping Sabonis in his chest. What was he supposed to do? He grabbed his leg. They defended him for punching Poole in the face. Oh, we heard Poole was acting a fool. We heard Poole deserved it, right? They defended him for calling Kevin Durant the B word and forcing him out of Golden State, right? And now they're defending him for another assault, putting somebody in a chokehold. And the defense goes so many different ways. They're going to either deny that there was even a choke, or downplay that the kick in Sabonis' chest was not that bad, or they're going to say, well, okay, it was bad, but it was self-defense. He was coming to defend Clay, or he was defending himself from Sabonis because Sabonis was doing a dirty act by grabbing his ankle, right? All of these, you know, they're going to have all different ways, but the whole point is to deflect from what it really is. So when they bring up all that stuff, I don't even address all that. Forget all that. Let's just talk about the act of choking someone out. Is that something that should be permitted on the NBA floor? Right? The answer is no. All right. So if you're not supposed to choke someone out and someone did it and we saw that he did it, now what the punishment gonna be? And that's the only conversation to have. All this other stuff, oh, well, he thought Gobert was choking Clay. Well, it don't matter. We can see from the film that he wasn't choking Clay. So forget what you thought he was doing. He wasn't actually choking him, and now we can see that. But we see that you actually choked him. So I don't care what you thought happened. I'm going to punish you based on what I just seen, and based on what he got as a punishment, that 1-game suspension in the playoffs with Sabonis. And the NBA released that statement saying, when we looked to the act, part of why we suspended him or made the decision to suspend him was based on his other or his history of what's the word, unsportsmanlike conduct in the past. So this is just another incident, and they can take into account his history as well. So the suspension should be coming. Some people are saying 5 games. I think that's a little bit light, 5 games. And some people are saying 25 games. That's a little bit heavy. But who just got 25 games? Ja Morant, for his second act of showing a gun on social media. Nobody got hurt in those incidences, but they're really trying to deter a certain behavior, and they really don't want the path that Ja Morant is going down for him to actually keep going down that path, number one. And number two, they don't want other young players seeing that to think it's okay to go down that path as well, as far as how you portray yourself, right? And your image. You got to protect that, because you got to protect the shield, the NBA. So they got to think about all of that. They got to think about deterring future behavior like this in the future when they come up with these punishments. And so far, nothing that has been given down to Draymond Green as a punishment for anything he's done has been enough for him to be like, I need to straighten up, right? And I can't keep hearing this Draymond's a goon. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's there to protect Steph Curry and Clay, and and all of this. He's an enforcer. Like this. Come on, this is actually basketball. What do you need an enforcer for? Like, what is an enforcer in a league full of people who people call soft? Like, if you go to every single team, how are they still winning without having a Draymond-like character? Like, how important is it for you? I mean, is this enforcer role that everybody keep talking about, is it that important? Is Clay and Steph that soft where you can have a player that continuously hurt your team? Like, that didn't help them win last night. They lost, right? You continually do these things, and it's hurting your team. It's a detriment to your team. You ran KD out. You ran Poole out with this type of behavior. And it was other people like DiVincenzo. He had a player option. He could have stayed in Golden State. He didn't even want that. He wanted to get out of there. Him and Jordan Poole was really close. So it's a lot of young people that probably got alienated in their locker room. I don't think everybody is okay with Draymond and how he acted in the locker room, right? But I don't think everybody can really say a lot about it. I don't think Wiggins cool with it, right? I think Wiggins got half his mind out of Golden State, and that's probably why he's struggling a little bit. Like, the thing that bothered Kevin Durant the most, and this came out of his mouth on Draymond Green's podcast, the thing that bothered him the most about the incident him and Draymond had was how everyone responded to it. He said the stuff that Draymond did and said, we can squash that between ourselves amongst men. But what really bothered Kevin Durant is that everyone act like it didn't happen. And we talking about important people like Steph, Clay, Steve Kerr, Bob Myers. They act like it didn't happen. They act like, oh, as long as we suspend Draymond a game, we should be good. But Kevin Durant looking at this like, all right, man, he just said some stuff like, you know, everyone knows common sense when you get into it with someone and they just start blurting stuff out that sound like they've been holding it in for a while, right? Like you know, you ever get into it with somebody and they say something and you be like, dang man, you've been wanting to say that to me for a while, haven't you? Like you've been holding that one. How long you been feeling like that? Right. And for Draymond to say it and and it'd be like the second time that it was said, because the first time Bob Myers said it as a joke at the first parade after they won the first ring, when he said, hey, Steph can get whatever he won't. You can't, KD, but Steph can because he's part of the original core. You're a newcomer. And everybody was like, oh, shoot, that's crazy. So he said that in jest, but it was a joke. All right, I'll let that rub off. Then the next season, we win again. And in the third season, we start getting some tension because I'm in my contract year. People want to know what I'm going to do, right? So this blow up that happened at the Clippers game, Draymond comes out and say, man, we don't need you. You'll be. We won without you. Dang. Are you the only one that feel like that? Is this something like, because I know you're real tight with Steph and I know you're tight with Clay. Is this something that y'all getting around talking about? Like, is that how y'all really feel? Like, is y'all three and what I came and did to help y'all get 2 straight rings on the way to a third, when you're thinking that y'all can actually do that without me? We won without you. I'm not that important. What's important is the core 3 and I'm just an outsider. Is that how? Okay, you said that. Now you would think, hey, look, man, we got to sit down and talk about this. And somebody like Steph would be like, look, KD, that ain't how I feel, bro. But nobody did none of that. He said everybody was just like, oh, Draymond said it. He said it for us, right? So KD probably felt like everyone felt like that. But my whole point is that he's been out of control and he's been just acting crazy. And he always do that when he feels his back is against the wall. His back was against the wall in the Kevin Durant situation because they both was trying to get a new contract with Golden State. And if KD would have stayed with Golden State and signed a max deal, that would have almost started one or two things. Either the Golden State Warriors would have had to get rid of Draymond because they wouldn't be able to afford him, or they was going to have to pay him way less than what him and his client or him and his agent was asking for, right? Because they was going to have to play Steph, KD, and Clay. Draymond would have been the odd man out. He would have got way less because he got close to a max contract after Kevin Durant left. But the reason why they didn't sign Draymond Green during the season is because they was waiting on Kevin Durant. And Draymond was mad at Kevin Durant most of the season because he knew my contract is getting held up by yours, and you're not telling nobody what you're going to do. You're not talking to nobody. Just at least tell us, are you staying or not? That way I can go to my agent and we can come back with a different strategy. All right, well, how much is Kevin going to get? Well, how much is he asking for? Okay, well, maybe I can get the rest of it and ask for this. Okay, I'll do that to stay in Golden State. Or, nah, that's not enough. I got to walk. Right. That was his thing. And his back was against the wall and he blew up on Kevin Durant at that time. And that's the time we seen it. That probably ain't the first time he blew up on somebody. Right. Same thing with Jordan Poole. He claimed he had something going on at home and that was bothering. That was what he said to the media. But what I perceive is he's in another situation where he needs a contract. Jordan Poole played so well and they won that chip. And he played well in that playoffs and most of the season. And he knew he was about to get a contract. And Draymond Green was needing a contract at the same time. And it was the same thing. My contract is getting held up on what's about to happen with him. And I think he's about to get paid. So he get paid. I'm not getting the money I want or I'm asking for. And he knew it. So he blew up on Jordan Poole. Right, when his back's up against the wall, he can't control himself. He's like a big man, baby. Right, he just can't control himself. Right, he fights. He go back to his primitive state and just start acting like, God, like an animal. Right, so so that's those incidents. And I called it in the Sacramento series when it was about to get put out. I was like, man, these books, because he did it with Boston when Boston was up on them 2-1. or whatever it was. I think Boston was up in the series. And I was like, man, Draymond, he about to act out, I can tell. And he came out and just acted a plumb fool, trying to agitate and start fights with Grant Williams and whoever else. And the NBA was allowing them to do it. The referees was allowing them to do it. I'm like, man, come on, man. Y'all can't see. I get it, man. Y'all trying to sell tickets and get ratings and stuff like that, man. But at some point, you can't let one person come in and run through your league almost like he owned it and just dictate stuff like that, man. Like, you know, and I guess it's a catch-22 because on one end of the spectrum, I don't want referees doing it either, because I feel like referees was handling Iverson and Rasheed Wallace in a certain way back then, where they wouldn't let them play, and they was handling them like, nah, hey, shut up on blowing this whistle. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things. So I don't want that, but I definitely don't want one guy come out there and look like he's bullying referees. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, you know, he's doing football moves and wrestling moves on these guys on the court in the finals. And because the referees don't want to help decide the game, you know, they giving a little bit more leeway on certain things. But now at some point you gotta call the game the way the game is supposed to be called. You know, so he did that against Boston. And then again in Sacramento had them down, and he went back to his fight tactics, you know. So whenever the Warriors or Draymond back is against the wall, he resorts to acting out and acting childish and trying to fight and do all this stuff, you know. And I just wish that he had the basketball skill set to where he could say, man, Steph Curry need help. Let me take my 9 points a game up to 15. And let me take my 5 rebounds a game up to 10. Let me get Steph 15 and 10 for a month or two. You know what I'm saying? Let me go dig deep, because, you know, I'm trying to play everything within the offense and within the flow and get everybody involved. But Klay's shot is not, you know, 100% on right now early in the season, and Wiggins can't find his rhythm, and we need buckets, right? So I wish Draymond Green was good enough where he could be like, let me dig deep, and instead of giving him 9 and 5, let me give him 15 and 10 just to help him out. And that might inspire Klay, you know, that might galvanize the troops that way. Let me do some basketball things to get us going and on the right track. But I don't think he has that basketball skill set left in him. You know, he did, but I don't think he can give him 15 and 10 for an extended period of time. I don't think he can do that. He can't help Steph like that. So what does he do? Well, my value is, well, I just turn up and start fighting people. I just do some crazy stuff, and I think when I do crazy stuff, that gets my teammates, revved up and ready to go. I just do crazy stuff, and that's what you're seeing from him. Here's Rudy Gobert after the game.
It's kind of funny because before the game, I was telling myself that Steph is not playing, so I know Draymond is going to try to get ejected. Because every time Steph doesn't play, he doesn't want to get involved. It's the guy Steph, so he just do everything he can to get ejected. So it's all good.
What did you think when you saw the video of it?
Nothing more. It's just clown behavior. I'm proud of myself for being the bigger man again and again. And yeah, he doesn't even deserve me putting my hands on him. I think it's just my team needed me tonight, and I did whatever I could to keep my cool and show that I wasn't making the situation worse. And I do hope though that the committees are doing what needs to be done, because that's just clown behavior, not much to say. It's just clown behavior.
Clown behavior. The big thing he said he knew Draymond was gonna do something tonight, because he don't usually want to play without Steph Curry, which is funny, man, because that's the same thing I thought in 2019-2020 season, when the first year they had to play without Kevin Durant and Klay. Klay got hurt in the finals. Kevin Durant got hurt in the finals, but he also left from free agency, right? So you lose Kevin Durant, you lose Klay for the season. You coming into the season with Draymond Green, Steph Curry, D'Angelo Russell, which I get to in a minute because he was part of, instead of Kevin Durant just walking to Brooklyn as a free agent, Brooklyn had D'Lo on the roster, but Kevin Durant was coming over there along with Kyrie Irving. So you got a point guard. You don't have a place for D'Lo. Plus D'Lo has an okay salary. So knowing that you about to give Kevin Durant what you go give him, and you go give Kyrie what you go give him, and they play the same position, D'Lo was expendable and the odd man out, and the person that don't fit, the puzzle, the piece that don't fit. So instead of Kevin Durant just walking over to Brooklyn and just going and signing as a free agent, he did Bob Myers and Golden State Warriors a very good solid by doing a sign and trade to where they could get D'Angelo Russell back for Kevin Durant. So they didn't get just nothing for Kevin Durant. He didn't just walk and just leave them high and dry. On the way out, he did them a favor, right? But anyway, D'Lo, Steph, Draymond coming into the season, a bunch of rookies. They got a bunch of rookies. I can't even remember all their names, right? I think Moses Moody was one of them. There's another guy that was a power forward, kind of like a oversized type, power forward. I don't know. He's out of the league now though, but I remember him. But they had some young bucks, and they had Steph Curry, Draymond, and D'Lo, and it wasn't working, right? And then in Game 5, Steph Curry fell on his hand, and broke his hand. So now he out for the season. He got to get surgery. Draymond tried to stick around and play without Steph Curry, but he kept having these nagging injuries. He got a knee here, a neck, a finger, a wrist, a sore leg, a sore knee, or sore back. He just kept missing time, and then all of a sudden, Draymond Green is out for the season. And I can't remember if he had to get some type of surgery or what, but as soon as it happened, I was like, oh man, he ain't about to go out there with all them rookies and play without Steph. I can see I can see why he left. So Rudy Gobert is true in his assessment. And Draymond Green even admitted, I wasn't interested in 2019, 2020 season. He said, I just wasn't interested. It was like, we was losing, I just wasn't interested, so he admits that. So, not going out there without his horses, not going out there with Steph, he don't want to do that. He don't want to do that. So, I believe Rudy Gobert that he had the thought process that Draymond might come out there to do something silly, and either turn it into a different type of game, because they knew they wasn't gonna win without Steph. They knew they probably didn't stand a chance. Draymond can't turn it up a notch and give you 25 or 30 points that was a void left by Steph Curry not playing, right? Steph getting you 30. Could Dre give you 15 and Clay give you 20? You get 35. Can you make it up that way? I don't think they thought they could. I think really Draymond Green feels like the only thing he offered the Warriors are antics. That's the only thing he got left, because 5 rebounds at the power forward position is not it. 5 rebounds at the power forward position is not, for a guy who don't score and who's there to defend and rebound. 5 rebounds at the power forward position is not it. And that's what he's giving you. So I don't think he even thinks in his mind that his value is basketball. His value is antics and attitude. And people keep saying it, and people keep believing it. And people think it's worth $25 million a year. And it's not. How soft is Steph Curry to where you have to put up with Draymond Green for $25 million to come out there and give you 5 rebounds and 9 points and fight? Like, how soft is, how much protection do you need in this league where you can go across all the teams and you're not going to find somebody who's coming out there ready to fight? If you could just look at the leaders, who's protecting Kawhi or Paul George? They don't strike me as the type of people who go out there and enforce. Who's the enforcer on the Clippers? Who's the enforcer in Denver? Who's enforcing in Denver? Who's enforcing and who's another contender? I mean, you just grab one. Philly. Who's the enforcer out there in Philly? Who was the enforcer in Portland when Dame was there? Did Dame need protection? Like, what is it about Steph? What Steve Kerr and the Warriors feel like, man, we can't even play without Draymond. Like, we can't win a game without Draymond. That's how they feel, which is funny because the more games Draymond sit out, the better they play. Like that championship they had against Boston, Draymond was unplayable. They had to sit Draymond down to get him a chance. Draymond didn't want to sit down. He wanted to be out there, but hey, they want to chip by sitting you down. They were losing when they was trying to play you. The more Wiggins played, the more Otto Porter Jr. played, the better the Warriors played, and Draymond was on the bench, right? So the writing was on the wall even then in that Boston series that it's probably time to move on for Draymond Green. So for basketball reasons, it don't make sense to keep him and then pay him like he's someone who's helping basketball. But if you're saying, I like his attitude and I like his toughness, and we have to have it, as if there's no other guy in the league that you could have this tough, right? Or like you actually need that on the Warriors. Like I really do think Steph is good enough where, look, I don't understand why they feel like Steph needs Draymond. He might want him because they've developed the friendship. So he might want Draymond, but for you to be like, oh man, he got us by the balls, we got to give him 30 mil because if he leave, the whole dynasty is over. The whole dynasty. Imagine telling Michael Jordan, man, hey, now that Rodman's gone, it's over. It's over. Everything is done. Rodman's gone. We still got the GOAT, but we can't win with the GOAT because of Rodman. Imagine saying Steph is a top 5 player, but man, we can't build no team around him without Draymond. Not his co-star, not Clay. Like, I'm not talking about Scottie Pippen in Michael Jordan's situation. Yeah, every superstar needs a good co-star or a great co-star or maybe even another superstar alongside him. You know, Shaq had Kobe, Magic had Kareem. You know, Oscar had Kareem. Right? LeBron had Kyrie. LeBron had Wade. Michael Jordan had Pippen. Steph got Clay. But we talking about that the other guy, not even a scorer. I'm talking about the guy that's just there for defense and rebounding and toughness. That's Rodman. That's your Udonis Haslem. That's what Haslem was with Miami Heat. Haslem, Rodman, who else I can think of? I mean, it's not even a lot of them. Maybe you say PJ Tucker, maybe Jay Crowder. You know, those type of guys, right? Those aren't your co-stars. Those are guys that they give you attitude, give you toughness. They can also play, but they're not so good to where they're not replaceable. Right. So for you to have someone that's that good, like, you know, Jay Crowder was with Devin Booker in Phoenix. Right. So Devin Booker was the star. The co-star was CP3 or DeAndre Ayton. And then when Jay Crowder came in with that contract and said, look, man, I want all this money and you go give it to me because I'm toughness. Phoenix was like, well, you just won't play for us then. We'll let you go. I can rebuild around Booker. As long as we don't lose Booker, we good. I can rebuild around Booker. Jay Crowder, you can go. When PJ Tucker was with, he won a championship with the Bucks. He guarded Kevin Durant tremendously in that Brooklyn series. But Milwaukee ain't had no issues with letting PJ Tucker walk. Bye, PJ Tucker. Thank you for helping us get a championship and playing great defense. We're just gonna get Dre Crowder from Phoenix and replace you. Right? As long as we got Giannis and Middleton, I can rebuild around Giannis and Middleton. Well, what am I caring about losing the attitude enforcer. Oh, I'm losing the enforcer. Oh my God, the dynasty is over. The enforcer's gone. Nah, that's not how that works. Draymond is living off this enforcer thing. Oh, I'm the enforcer. I got Steph and Clay. I'm good. I'll rebuild around that. Why am I giving you $30 million? Nah, that's probably 3 players I can go get. Vet minimum. I'm giving you 30, and I'm gonna be over the luxury tax, or I'm gonna be over the salary cap. So I'm paying the luxury tax. And you want me to be the highest paid franchise in the league. You want me to pay so many tens of millions in luxury tax, probably close to 50 million in luxury tax, and we 6-6. And last year we only won what, I don't know, man. They was in single digits for away games. Couldn't even win on the road. Now it's reversed. They went on the road, can't win at home. Draymond Green getting kicked out of games. That's the best you got to offer me. My best player went down and needed to rest his knee. And somebody I'm paying $30 million couldn't even last 2 minutes in the game and step his game up to help this team get a win. You got to be kidding me. You came out here and was focused and was like, man, our leader is out. It's me and Clay. I just got my contract. Clay trying to get his contract. Let's show them that we deserve that contract, and let's help out our guy that's been carrying us on his back for so many years. Let's help him out and show us we can go get him a win. He can sit down and rest one game and rely on us. We can pick up the pace for one game and go get this win. We got CP3, we got Clay, and I'm Draymond. We can go get this win for number 30. No. It was more important for you to be an enforcer, for you to go choke somebody out, make it personal. Somebody that was a peacemaker in the situation. Somebody that went over to break the fight up. I went over to break the fight up. Yeah, sure. If you want to be Draymond's lawyer, I would use whatever I could use. He touched Clay. Clay's not his teammate. You don't touch somebody's teammate in the fight. Well, it wasn't a fight. It was a tussle, right? A tussle that went on long enough to show everyone that neither one of them wanted to fight. Both of them wanted to keep playing basketball. Draymond didn't. Clay and McDaniels, they both wanted to keep playing basketball. That's why they didn't punch each other. That's why they was pulling t-shirts like girls. You know, when them cat fights, getting in cat fight is, I don't know what it is about high school girls where when they get in a fight with a female, instead of them putting them fists on them, they want to embarrass her and pull her weave out and then pull her breast out of her shirt. She rip her shirt so everybody can see her bra, see how dirty the bra is, and then pull her weave out of her head. That's what they want. I want to pull shirts and weaves. That's what Klay Thompson was doing. I want to pull shirts. Let's have a shirt pulling contest. If there was water nearby, they probably would have wet them up, wet them shirts up. Let's show everybody them nipples, and just, you know, they're just pulling shirts. Nobody that was this close. It was this close for however long that was that close. Ain't nobody want no punches thrown. They grabbing t-shirts. They trying to Dwight Howard the whole situation. Show them all that. It was all yeah. I mean, like, it was all white girls going wild. Mardi Gras. Give them some bees. They out there showing chests. Parade inside my city. That's what they was doing. Pulling shirts. Nobody was trying to throw no punches. So forget the malice in the palace or brawl or melee or out of control. The bench did not clear. They stood up, and the assistant coaches was doing this to keep everybody, just reminding them. They ain't even have to physically touch nobody. Just remind them, hey, look, don't go on the court. So they was well mannered. It wasn't even bad enough for security to come down. It was just the referees and the players that was on the floor. No punches thrown. Nobody even looked like they wanted to throw a punch. Nobody's fist was even balled. And Rudy Gobert walks up to him, touches him on the small of his back, and then grabs him on his shoulder to try to move him out of the way. And then he turned his back to his teammate, almost like he was protecting Clay. When he grabbed him and turned, his intent was noticeable that I'm trying to shield him from getting hit or grabbed again. I just want to get in between these dudes. But Draymond saw the perfect opportunity. Oh, it's Rudy Gobert. And it was three things went through his mind. Number one, Rudy Gobert is not even built like that. Right? I'm grabbing the right one. I'm not grabbing Boogie Cousins by the neck. I'm not grabbing Haslam by the neck. I'm not grabbing Kenyon Martin by the neck. I'm not even grabbing Jimmy Butler. He wouldn't. He looked and saw Gobert and was like, oh, he from Paris. He ain't from the streets, where I'm from. So he probably ain't, if I bring him this smoke, I already know it's a non-threat. So that's the first thing that went through his mind. I picked the right one. The second thing, we already got beef and I don't like him. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to flex. And the third thing was, I really don't want to play tonight anyway. Steph gone. I don't think we got a chance. I can't rev it up. And I mean, my value is only valuable when Steph is on the floor. And so I really don't want to be out here. That's the three things that went through his mind. So he grabbed him, he choked him, and he know he gonna have a lot of people defending him, including everybody inside the Golden State Warriors front office. They, like I said, they're enablers, especially Steve Kerr. But people go start getting tired of this really quick. I'm telling you. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. I could be wrong. Maybe Rudy Gobert was going up there with malice in his heart and ill intent, and maybe he was trying to choke slam Klay Thompson or whatever. But you ain't gonna have no proof for that. It's obvious what he was doing. He was there as a peacemaker, which is how the NBA and the referees saw it, which is the reason why he didn't get a tech at all. He didn't get a tech or get thrown out, right? But Draymond Green got a flagrant too, right? So his second game he got thrown out of in 3 days. I think that's all he got to offer the game.